Hey guys, MCU Collect here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the Amazon exclusive 2-pack of Baron Zemo and Arnim Zola. Now these are Captain America themed, as there have been several Captain America releases throughout the year. We had the Symbol of Truth Target exclusive deluxe that hasn't released in the US yet. We had the Walmart exclusive Secret Empire Captain America, and here we have the 2-pack Baron Zemo Arnim Zola. So excited for this one. We have seen Arnim Zola released before. The most recent would be this version here, which came in a 2-pack with that evil Captain America, Hydra Supreme, I think is what they call them in there. But years and years and years and years and years ago, there was a Build-A-Figure of Arnim Zola. Now, I have the Red Skull version, which actually had the red light head and then the Red Skull, their image in the chest. There were two versions. There was the yellow version with the Arnim Zola head sculpt. I don't have the one. I thought I had it. I did not. I never got it. Or either I had it before and maybe sold it when I got this one because, you know, what was the point of having an Arnim Zola when I got a Red Skull? Anyway, that we have that there. So it's an old body mold. Super old. Like Return of Marvel Legends old. Old, like Bucky Cap. Original Bucky Cap. Old. That's how old it is. But there's some new... Well... No, I don't even think there's anything new. Like, this guy got new stuff. This guy got new arms, at least. That was it. Arms, sure. This guy uses the old ones going way back. Way back. The head sculpt, I don't know if the secondary head sculpt is new, because I'm trying to remember if this guy was new for this one. I have to take a look there. But we get Baron Zemo. It is the father of this Baron Zemo, so it's not the same. Obviously, there are some similarities, so we'll take a look at that. So again, this is an Amazon exclusive. Should still be available right now. I'll have a link in the video description below, just in case. We get some side artwork of Zemo there on the side, and then Arnim Zola on that side, and you can actually see that same artwork for both of them there. The bio on the back reads, scientists Baron Zemo and Arnim Zola use their villainous technologies to challenge their shared nemesis, Captain America. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get these figures out of the package and take a look. Okay, so here we have the two figures out of the package. We got the Arnim Zola figure and the Baron Heinrich Zemo. This is Helmet's dad. So the Walgreens exclusive was Helmet Zemo, and then this is Heinrich Zemo. You know, back in like World War II days and everything. He's got messed up face and everything like that. He's got the sword, and this sword actually came with that first Baron Zemo figure that came in the Captain America Winter Soldier wave. So we have that there. We do get a little bit of differences as we get a little bit of black in the hilt, and then just kind of gold for the trim of the hilt, and then just like this silverish color there for the blade. So there we go. And then he's got the gun. We got some extra hands and some things like that. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Zemo figure, and then we'll take a look at Arnim Zola. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the hooded head sculpt of Baron Heinrich Zemo. And here, this looks pretty good. Obviously, we get the same. We get a very similar look to Helmet, except this is a true hooded version. The crown is a little bit different. This crown is actually removable. I don't know that you want to take it off, but you can take it off. It looks a little funny without it on there, but it's not glued on. I kind of thought it would be glued on. It's not. Comes off very easily, and the reason why I know that is because when trying to pull this head sculpt off, I just pulled the crown off initially instead. The way the hood is done, it's actually a like soft rubber. It almost feels like a rubber overlay. So if I pop off the head, as you can see, it's very pliable and thin. It's just kind of the material that they use. It's all like one piece, but it's interesting kind of how they did it. So that is cool there. We get the unmasked head sculpt, which is gruesome and ugly. Like, you damn. That dude is ugly. Like, his mouth is all jacked up. The digital face print is crazy. That scar is nuts. Got like a little bit of a Snoke look to him. Just absolutely crazy. The details of it are really good. The sculpting detail, the paintwork on there, just kind of crazy looking. The figure itself, though, it's just okay. Just okay. See this fur collar? It's cool, right? It just floats. It's just there. It's not glued down or anything. Glued down, I think, would have made sense. They did not do that, though. I wish they would have. And I don't know if maybe mine just isn't and it's supposed to be glued down, but it's not glued down. And I think that would go a long way for the figure if it was glued down. I don't know why. It's just not. This figure is essentially the same as like the classic Red Skull, the classic Dormammu, and everything. Like basically the same thing. We do get this skirt piece there, and you got the gold like trim piece. That's all the same piece as the skirt piece on there, and that looks pretty good. It is fully pinless, so pinless elbows, pinless knees. We get a little bit of fur in there with some brown for the boots. He's got white gloves. He's got trigger finger hands. He also comes with a pair of fists. And then he also has these, like, I want to say grip hands, but I'm not sure what he's gripping. Maybe he could grab, like, Captain America's neck or something. So he has those. He's got the gun, this little pistol. And forgive me if I'm saying this wrong. Is this like is it a Ruger? I don't actually know that. I feel like that might be accurate, but I could absolutely be wrong. You guys let me know down in the comments below. It's just all black. Looks pretty good. And then that sword that I had mentioned there. I feel like the silver paint is on there. I feel like it's a gold plastic, and then the silver is painted on there where it almost has like this bronzy look to it. And I feel like that's just because it kind of bleeds through the silver paint. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but I think that's what's going on there. But yeah, back to the Baron Zemo figure. Yeah, I'm disappointed in this collar piece. And then the other thing is my torso is a little loose. I don't know. I feel like that should not be the case. It should be a little bit stronger there. Now, it's not super floppy or anything like that, but it's just a tad loose for my liking. I would have liked it a little bit sturdier on there. But you know what? Maybe that is just me. But that is the Baron Zemo figure. And if we want to take a look at comparisons, let's go ahead and take a better look at him next to his son Helmet. Of course, way back in the Captain America the Winter Soldier wave, Mandroid Build-A-Figure, there was another Baron Zemo figure. Again, that's where this sword, I think, had originally come from. But I didn't bring out that figure to do a comparison. But here, as you can see, the similarities between the two. You know, the mask has a very similar purplish color to it. Not exactly the same, but they are pretty close. As you can see, the Walgreens exclusive Zemo has a little bit of a darker purple. But over here on his shoulders and his boots, he's got that same animal print there on the fur, whereas Heinrich does not have that on the fur of his boots. A little bit more practical colors, right? Brown boots, white gloves is kind of weird, whereas the helmet has like the yellow stuff going on, which is pretty crazy looking there. I know people are going to ask. People always want to see this type of thing. That's not my thing, but let's go ahead and do some head swaps. So we're going to pop these Baron Zemo heads. Ooh, that didn't want to come off too nicely. So yes, that pops on there. So if you want to do that, you can. If you want to put this hooded head on there, you can also do that there as well. So those work. On to Arnim Zola. Okay, up close look at Arnim Zola. He's ugly. He's an ugly dude. Little TV screen looking dude in his body here. So this head sculpt, again, this is actually a newer head sculpt. They did do this for that Hydra Arnim Zola version, as you can see there. It was not part of the original Build-A-Figure. The more boxed looking one, this is kind of goes back to the original Build-A-Figure. This one is kind of nice, as you can kind of see. It kind of fits in that space there. So if you don't turn it, it kind of makes sense. You could just pop that off. It's got a tiny little peg on there, so do be careful there. Let's pop this one on there because I kind of like this one a little bit more. I think it's really got that boxy look to it. So there, we can have full swivel and everything like that on there, and that looks pretty good. They both have kind of the yellow on there. But looking at Arnim Zola, we get a very classic, old school looking Arnim Zola, where the Hydra version was a very menacing look at Arnim Zola. And unfortunately, I do not have the original Build-A-Figure Arnim Zola to compare that to. I have the Red Skull version, so you can see how Red Skull looks in there, and he looks kind of menacing, whereas Arnim Zola just kind of looks scared-ish. But anyway, looking at the figure, we get these bright orange for his upper body, nice deep purple for like the armored portions, I guess they would be. The belt has got this yellow over this purple. The paintwork on it actually really sucks. As you can see, that's where like the paint around it, and then it came back and stopped, and it just has that little extra layer of yellow paint right there. That'd be great if that little extra layer of yellow paint was across the whole waist. We wouldn't see some of the purple come through. So that just kind of sucks because yellow over purple does not paint well. Look at the boot. It's bad. And this is a brand new figure. Like, it's bad. It doesn't look good. Like, it just doesn't. Do another coat, because then it would look better. See where that line is? If it was around the whole thing, it would look good. We would see full yellow. We wouldn't see the purple bleeding through. So I wish we had that. Big difference between the two. It's more of a yellow versus a gold of the original Build-A-Figure, as you can see there. And then the legs get more of a metallic look to it. So the plastic is more metallic. It kind of almost looks like they went metallic here, just not quite as shiny on that original Build-A-Figure. And then the orange is a little bit darker. The purples are about the same. If anything, we get a little bit brighter on this one, and I don't know if that's because it's just newer. We do get some added yellow paint around the wrists that we did not have on that original Build-A-Figure there. And then looking at the remote on the original was just a gray hunk of plastic. This new one is a super bright pink with 3 buttons on there. A nice silver, a nice yellow, and a nice turquoise blue. Why they went with this color, you guys will have to let me know that in the comments below. Maybe the original Build-A-Figure just didn't bother adding color and paint into it. The Hydra version of Arnim Zola, I don't remember what the color of that one was, as I do not have that one handy to show you guys there. But that is the look at the Arnim Zola, and let's get a proper side-by-side of all three. Okay, so here you can see the side-by-side comparisons. We've got the Red Skull version, which, you know, again, there were 2 versions of the Build-A-Figure because there were 2 versions. Like, it had some of the Wrecking Crew and stuff. You could, like, it was a thing, right? Alternate figures, or however they called it or did it. We got the new Arnim Zola, which has the 2 different head sculpts, or not head sculpts, camera sculpts, head pieces, whatever. And then that Hydra 2-pack version that had the Hydra Supreme on there. So there we have a look at the Arnim Zolas. This new one does stand out a little bit more because it, again, has the bright orange on there, the brighter yellow, which doesn't look great up close because the purple bleeds through, but does kind of look the best out of them all. I do kind of wish that I had gone and gotten the old Build-A-Figure on there. I kind of wish I would have done that. And one thing that I'm just now noticing while I'm looking at that is that ring up at the top was painted silver, and then there's 2 red dots on the ends here. The new one gets less paint. They didn't even put the paint on there. It's just the yellow, those little dots didn't get painted, and that ring didn't get painted at all. So that's a little unfortunate that, you know, something so old actually gets less paint. Yeah, that's too bad. Now let's check out both of their articulations. Okay, so we'll take a look at Zemo's articulation first. The hooded head sculpt, you're not really going to get him to look up at all. That's it there. It is on a dumbbell joint, so it's a little bit tough. Getting him to look down, he could do it a little bit. As you can see there, you're going to have to kind of crunch him forward to make it really work. You get a rotation in there, but the way the hood is sculpted, the collar wants to move with it, and it kind of gets stuck there because it's a floating collar piece and not something that is glued down, which, again, I really wish it would have been glued down. The arms you can get to go straight out that much there. You get a full rotation, upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, and these are thick sleeve elbows, so it has the absolute worst elbow bend out of any Marvel Legends figure, in my opinion. It's just really bad. The elbow piece is very small, and it's just the way that Marvel Legends, Hasbro does the elbow joints. When you have a thick sleeve elbow, this is what ends up happening. It looks really bad. I think it's their worst that they have. Wrists swivel and they hinge. The trigger finger hands do have the vertical hinge, which is good. The other hands, the fists and the grip hands, have the standard horizontal hinge. We have an ab crunch on this guy. Again, mine is a little loose. Hopefully yours will not be either. He's only going to crunch forward that much because the skirt piece, that big ass gold piece, is going to get in the way of it a little bit. He can go back only that much there, so not a whole lot. You got a waist swivel in there. You got to really work it because that skirt piece does hinder a little bit. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that far up. The skirt piece has 2 slits on either side, so it allows for some good movement at least. Leg doesn't really go back. You got an upper thigh cut in there. A double jointed pinless knee, so that much bend there at the knee. Thick legs also makes for a fairly ugly looking knee bend as well. You get a boot swivel there just above the fur. Foot hinges all the way down. You're going to get some hinge up, ankle pivot, pegals at the bottom of the feet. So, okay articulation, pretty lacking in the torso. Ugly elbows and knees. The worst elbows, not the worst knees, but they're just very very ugly looking in my opinion. Moving on to Arnim Zola. The head, depending on the head, right, you can only move this around. It's really made to fit right in that oval, so it doesn't really do a whole lot. There is a hinge on that head sculpt, so if you have kind of the more classic box looking one, you actually can get it to point down and point upwards a little bit. You get the rotation and swivel in there, and things like that, so that's good about that one. The arms, you can get the arm to go straight on out. You get a full rotation in there. It is a single jointed elbow, so it's only going to give you a very little bend, as you can see there. That's just straight, and then that's bent, not a whole lot at all. There is a swivel at that elbow as well. Wrists swivel, so standard horizontal hinge on both of these hands. Grip hand for the left, we got open hand for the right there. There is no ab crunch or anything like that. Of course, we just have a waist swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward only that far, not a whole lot. The leg doesn't go back. You got an upper thigh cut in there, a double jointed pinless knee, which actually only gives you that much bend there, so just a tad over 90 degrees. You got a boot swivel, foot hinges down quite a bit. A little bit of hinge up. It goes more than you would think. You just kind of have to force it a little bit. It's not going to hurt it. There, ankle pivot pegholes at the bottom of the feet. I forgot to mention, you get some gray color in there for the soles, whereas the original didn't have any paint there. The whole boot was purple. The yellow is the same. Well, it used the gold, but the soles, they didn't paint a different color. So that is Arnim Zola's articulation. And now to see these two compared to Captain America. Okay, so there's a few different Captain Americas, but here we're going to bring out the unparalleled Cap. This is the Marvel Legends 20th anniversary version of Captain America, as you can see there. Size-wise, it looks pretty good, all there side by side, so not too shabby. We also got to go along with the theme of Captain America, because remember, Captain America Brave New World was supposed to release this year, and I believe that is the final title. I thought it was New World Order, but, you know, the title keeps changing or whatever on the Marvel movie, and then, like, some of the shows, titles keep changing and whatnot. So this is the Sam Wilson Symbol of Truth Captain America, the Target exclusive deluxe version that has not yet released in the US. So this came from overseas. So you got that there. And then we have my favorite of, well, I wasn't going to say my favorite of the bunch. My favorite for this year, in terms of Captain America, is the Secret Empire, the evil version, Hail Hydra version of Captain America. This is a very, very good figure, in my opinion. This is the Walmart exclusive. So you have there, and he's kind of beefy and big compared to Arnim Zola and Zemo. Okay, so that is my review. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this Captain America 2-pack of Baron, Heinrich, Zemo, and Arnim Zola. If you have the previous Arnim Zola Build-A-Figure, you probably don't need this one. If you didn't have a Baron Zemo figure before, like the Helmet Zemo, or you really need Heinrich Zemo, I think Toy Biz made this version of Zemo. You know, maybe this is one that you pick up. It's, you know, $50 for the 2-pack. I believe it's in stock. I'll have a link in the video description below. But you guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on this 2-pack. I think the great thing about this one is, you know, we get the unmasked head sculpt for Heinrich Zemo, which is just like menacing looking and scary and just crazy good looking, and I think this thing is awesome. So you get some display options. You can have Baron Zemo with the hood on there. You can have Arnim Zola with that head sculpt or camera or headpiece gear, whatever, whatchamacallit, or you can put this one on there. So you get some display options, and you can kind of differentiate between some previous figures that you may have had. So you guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on this 2-pack. I think it is a decent enough 2-pack. I think it's one that can be an easy skip for some of you guys. If you got Helmet, you might be good with Baron Zemo on that end. You may have that Arnim Zola Build-A-Figure, and you're not really going to need this one, because this one doesn't really provide anything new. That Build-A-Figure really holds up in terms of this is being the same. You know, something with new tooling and all of that would be a welcome addition, sure. But, you know, I don't think it's necessary to, not enough of any kind of upgrade, in my opinion. And then I'm curious, you guys let me know down in the comments below, which the Build-A-Figure do you have? Do you have the Red Skull version like I do? Or do you have the yellow dot and the Arnim Zola torso piece. I'm curious. I would love to get that Arnim Zola Build-A-Figure, just so I can have all the different versions. I'm sorry I couldn't do a full-on comparison to show that Arnim Zola versus this Arnim Zola, but at least I had that other one. So yeah, you guys let me know which of the Build-A-Figures you have, and then what you think of this 2-pack. Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.